First time real estate investors, that's what we wanted to talk about.
But first, let's hit it. Hi, this is Alan Victoria. Welcome to our channel.
And if this is your first time in our channel and you wanted to know everything about Greenville, Winterville, all the way to Raleigh, please subscribe in our channel and also get notified when we put a new video for you.
Actually, I get calls, texts, and emails all the time from people just like you looking to buy their first home, buy their second home, buy this investment property that we're talking about right now, and then everything else in between. We love helping people of all ages, sizes, everything. So just call us because we love helping you. So with none other further, let's get into getting your first rental.
Before doing this, we wanted to basically picture for you some of the benefits that the rental property has for you. And if we are looking at the 4 units, basically, still we are talking about residential, anything more than 4 units is going to be the commercial.
Right.
Therefore, without any further ado, we're going to list for you the couple benefits, what they are.
Right, so you're going to make profit, number one, right? So you're gonna have a mortgage and you're gonna be paying off that loan. You're gonna be making money off that in the future. Plus, you should be making more money every single month. So you're making money, not only by owning that second home, by also getting every single month that rent. So someone is paying down that loan for you.
Therefore, that's perfect. And the second things that we wanted to talk about basically is the tax benefit.
Now, we are not CPAs.
Exactly.
We are not your lawyers. This is YouTube. But we wanted to give you some history on it because what can you do?
Basically, you can write off the investment pay, no?
Interest payment.
Interest payment.
And then also you can have 1031 tax deferred exchanges. Again, talk to your money people about those things. Number 3 is cash flow, right? Want to tell us about that?
Exactly. Basically, the cash flow is not just rent minus the mortgage payment. It's like something need to be fixed. And the cash flow basically is your income minus all your expenses minus reserves.
Okay, also want to talk about besides someone else paying off that loan for you and you owning a second home or third or a fourth or a fifth or a 10th home, you're also getting appreciation on those homes. So historically, appreciation is 2 to 3% a year. Yes, there's been some crazy times in the past, but you know what? If we go back to norms of 2 to 3%, you are still making money on this strategy. Now let's talk about these investment strategies, no?
Yes, we're going to break it down for a couple investment strategy and explain it to you what it is. And the first strategy, what is the first strategy?
The house flipping, right? So you're going to buy a house cheap, fix it if you have that power to fix. I am not a fixer.
And we have a video about it.
Oh, we do.
How to fix, and with all expenses that you can watch that video.
Okay, then second one is?
Basically buy and hold it. Sometimes the property is in a good shape. You just buy it and hold it. It appreciates, as my wife said, and you can sell it later on.
The third one, I'm going to let my husband explain house hacking a little bit more because I have some comments on house hacking, so we'll get into that in a minute.
We have many clients that call us, I wanted to get a duplex.
And then we're going to explain in 1 second. Let's move
Leave
on.
in one of them.
Right.
And then rent the other one. This
Let's
is
be
called
honest.
House hacking.
Right, but this is also kind of a unicorn because, yeah, those houses can exist in the world. It can happen. However, I would not bet the farm and say this is going to be my first investment strategy. I'm going to get a duplex. Why? They're hard to find. So there's not like they're on every street corner. So it's going to be super hard to find.
And when you find it, you need to stick with it. You need to be exactly ready to put an offer.
And you think the regular housing market is competitive? Good luck, because there's a million people thinking, I just want to get a house, a duplex, and live in one half. That sounds great in theory. It's hard to find. What is a better and more tried and true strategy is what I'm going to say real quickly. You buy a house, it's a little bit more longer term, so it's not immediate investment. You live in it a year, then you move out of the house after you're living in it a year or 2 years, depending if you bought it FHA. You have lived in it, you then move out. For whatever reason, you put that as a rental property, you make rental income on that house, you've lived out for 1 month, and then you can get that next house that you're trying to buy. So you do have to have a strategy of where to live for 6 weeks, but it is a long-term strategy to get you an investment property, and you're getting it at those interest rates for original. So it's a better, more tried and true.
Basically, what my wife says, because the mortgage, the investment mortgage, you need more down payment. This way you can claim it as your primary and you can get your interest rate back because you're buying the second one as your primary.
Right.
That's what's going to save you a lot of money.
And that's going to be more tried and true, but you have to have a 6-week strategy of living somewhere. Also, if you're going with that strategy I just mentioned, if you want to get those multi-units and those commercials and that $1 million like property to where you have lots of rentals, well, the step one of that is proving that you have investment. So live in it a year, have another rental for a year, and then go to the bank and start getting that third, fourth, fifth mortgage. That's more your traditional route. So anyway, other than that house hacking, that immediate shortcut that is very hard to find. Okay, next one.
This one is very related to what my wife said.
It's the burr.
Flipping. And then the next one, number 5, is going to be BRRRR, which is the method of buying, rehabbing, basically renting, refinancing, and repeat this process again and again.
Another one that is super profitable for a lot of people these days is, of course, your Airbnb and your Vrbo. So those are short-term rentals. Those are very profitable. There is a lot more work involved with those, and there's also more income involved with those. So there's just another option to throw on the table. So these are ways that you can use the land and buying a house and buying that second and third and fourth house to make you money in the future. So
exactly. Therefore, now we wanted to get into some rental property analysis.
We already have a whole video on it, though. So, as you said,
we have a whole video about rehabbing and what it costs. But now we wanted to talk about rental property analysis, because many of the time they call us and say, "Oh, I wanted to do this.
I want to buy this $50,000 house." Well, let me tell you, that $50,000 house has a lot of work involved.
Yes.
And can you do that work is the bigger question. Oh, yeah. Really? Are you an electrician? Are you a plumber? Those are specific skills. And sometimes it's like whole house. The roof has got to go. So, I mean, you have to have some really good skills to do those things.
Exactly. And then what we wanted to do, we're going to introduce you also to a website called rentometer.com. Basically what this
and
website...
we're not getting paid for them. They don't pay us.
And everybody needs a membership too. You have a free trial, but you need a membership if you wanted to do this. And basically what it does is analyze for you the buy and hold rental property and long-term rentals. And basically what you do, you put the address of the property that you are interested and some of the criteria, like what type of the house is, how many bedroom has, how many bathroom, and gives you, based off the comps in that area, the market for the rentals, which is really good because it runs for you all the CMA and it gives you quick and easy digestible numbers that you know what you're exactly looking at.
Okay, so let's talk about expenses of owning a home. Number 1 is going to be that mortgage. But before we even get to that mortgage, we're going to talk about how you need 15 to 20% down to even buy a rental property. Because unless you do it the way I talked about before when we're living in a primary for at least for that first 2, which I do recommend. Okay.
And the reason is because is not your primary residence. Therefore, the bank is going to charge you more and you need the more down payment for
and
the
it's
bank.
Not that the bank is being mean. The bank understands that you're not going to live in it, and if push comes to shove and your finances have just gone to the toilet and you're having a horrible rough time, the very first property that you're going to pay that mortgage on is the one you live in. So they understand that your survival method has come in and you're going to pay your own first before you start paying all these second and third properties that you own.
Exactly.
So that is why they charge more interest.
Therefore, let's talk about, for example, a house for $80,000. Now, for example, you have this house, like in this market, for $100,000, and then you wanted to see how this kind of investment works for you. Therefore, as my wife said, the first step is the mortgage, 15 to 20% down, which gives you the principal plus the interest rate. That is going to be, for example, let's say $300. We're talking like just a number, not the real number, just a number to give you an idea.
Right. Then
what else I need to look at?
Then you have to look at your property taxes.
Exactly.
Insurance, you're going to
property tax number 2.
And insurance.
Therefore, you need a premium insurance for your property.
Right.
Therefore, you can get a quote, shop around from the agent
and this is
get
what
it.
we were saying. Repairs can be costly, so go in with a number, and even after you have fixed everything, understand 10% of everything that you're making has to go into a fund for repairs.
Exactly.
So,
therefore, don't think, oh, okay, I don't need any, right now, any expenses for repair. I'm just going to put all cash it to my account. Therefore, the best thing is putting 10% of your rent in the separate account for repairs.
Yeah, repair fund. Next one is vacancy. You have to understand people move and go at will, especially when at rental. Yes, you can have an agreement. Yes, they're supposed to pay you fees. Up to you to get them. Good luck. And just also understand in your math that you should have a 5% filter, 5% vacancy rate understanding for that property. So when you're doing your math, calculate on a conservative method, 5%. Yes.
And then basically you need to put aside, as my wife said, for repair and vacancy, which we said 10% plus 5%, 15% you should put for this item aside.
Now, if you are like me, I'm very nice and very kind, or at least I try to be, which means I can get taken advantage of, which means I am not going to be the best professional management for you, because I listen to people's stories and I like helping people buy homes. And, So if you are like me and you're worried about that, there are companies out there that are property management companies to where they will make sure that you are getting the best people in there because they understand they need to make money, and they take 10 to 15%, I believe.
Yes, and what they do basically, they run the credit card, the score and history for the tenant that's supposed to come, and make sure this tenant has a good basically history of paying his rent.
And they make sure that they pay you continually on time. And those sob stories that I would fall for are not necessarily going to affect your bottom line, because you still need payments to make. So all the stories of why people can't pay are going to affect me, but maybe not the management company.
This is a tough business. Therefore, if you are not a strict person and you're super nice, you need to make sure that you hire a property management company that have very strict guidelines, and basically
they get you that money.
They get the money, and it costs you. It costs you at least 10%, but you need again shop around and find what is the best for you, that it works.
All right, so another one is called a cash return on investment.
No, the first thing that we wanted to talk, actually, before we go out, we wanted to do the cash flow. What is the cash flow is? Therefore, the cash flow is rent that you get. For example, if you get $1,000 minus all the expenses.
And expenses are mortgage, HOA, taxes, property management. What else?
Insurance, vacancy, repair, and other taxes. Therefore, these are the main. Therefore, that's how you can basically calculate your cash flow.
Okay, then there's what I was going to say is the cash on cash return on investment. It's a year over year from your initial investment, and how large is the return you're going to get from your initial investment. And to figure it out, my husband's going to help us with the math.
Therefore, the down payment, as we said, is 15 to 20%.
Right.
And then you have a closing cost that each house, and if you have basically loan, you're looking at the origination fee. No, what else? You look at the underwriting.
The title insurance, the title.
Yes.
Typically in North Carolina, here in Greenville, it's going to be between $4,000 to $6,000. It's going to be different, and it's going to be a percentage of the house in other areas. I think it's 2% in other countries, 1 or 2%. I don't know other states. I just know my area.
And then the third thing that is very important is initial repairs. Therefore, make sure that you go with your realtor, take a general contractor or something if it needs a repair, to make sure you are aware of everything about roof, about the crawl space, about HVAC, about the windows, all those important factors.
Right. So annual cash flow divided by total
initial investment. Therefore, what is the total investment?
What is the total investment?
Total investment basically is down payment,
the
closing cost, and initial repairs. Yeah. These 3 items.
Okay, so cash flow is going to be that annual cash flow that you're going to get once all this is good to go, divided by that total investment. Say the property is going to get you $2,000 a month. So that total, the annual cash flow is going to be 12 times 2, which is 24. So $24,000 divided by whatever that investment was at the bottom, and that's going to give you a number. So.
Therefore, let's break down the formula very easily. We need the annual cash flow. Therefore, 12 months times that what? Income minus expenses. You have your income and the expenses, we said all those 3 items. And the ratio divided by all the down payment, closing costs, and initial repairs. That gives you a number, a percentage.
It's not 10%.
Really
if it's 10%, it's amazing. If it's less than 10%,
that means you need to think about it and take it slow, because it might not be good idea for you.
Right, so you have to kind of look at those numbers and understand those percentages.
Therefore, you should be very careful when you do this. You should talk to your CPA and look at all the aspects of this business before you take any actions.
Okay, so this is not a passive way of making money. You have to take time to get familiar with
Before
the
my
market.
wife jump into it, now we wanted to say, what is the downside of the real estate investment?
Right,
now we
what I
wanted
just said.
to...
Not passive. You have to, not passive initially. This is work. This is going to take time for you to get familiar with the land, the layout, the market itself, your tenants. They can be a headache too. They don't necessarily want to take care of the place. It is more stable than the stock market because it is physical work. And there are factors that are completely outside of your control, like the market and the interest rates and all of that stuff. Anything else you want to add?
Well, what it is, you need to take a depth
and use other people's money.
And use other money, people money, like a bank, to basically start your investment. And also, it's not like a stock market that you can liquidate right away.
Right, you're going to have to sell it if you want to liquidate, and it's going to take 30 days or more, depending on what those market conditions are.
Exactly, and then how the rentals is after the tenant is going to go outside.
So you'll know if this is good for you or not when you understand what your goals are and the big picture of what you're trying to do.
Therefore, now we're going to tell you what is important for you. We wanted to dig out what is important for you that you wanted to do this.
Okay, so your goals, the big picture, why? Dealing with other people, you can be a bit of a therapist, but if your job, the goal is to spend more time with your kids, not work the W-2 anymore, to have more free time, this is not a bad step for you to do. What else?
Basically, after you understood, you wrote is like a business plan. You understand your goal. You should narrow down your investment and criteria strategy, because that is so important, because you need to know what type of property you are looking at. Are you looking at the single family? Are you looking at the multifamily?
Are you finding that multifamily dream that so many people have that are just so hard to find? And that's why I recommend the first method I mentioned.
And also, you need to know all the numbers that I talked to you, and you need to understand the concept of cash on cash return monthly and annually. And also, you remember, if you buy a house that you need to flip and then rent it, you need to know the 70% rule that we addressed in the other video that you can watch.
Okay, you also, when you're buying a house, you must have pre-approval. This isn't like going to buy a car to where you're going to go pick the car and then they'll figure out the financing for you to get that car, even if it's crazy high interest. No, when we come to home buying, the pre-approval comes first. So don't start thinking about investments if you don't have that pre-approval letter.
Yes, therefore that is the most important things. And make sure that the rules are really clear, no?
Right.
What it means.
You have to make sure that if you are the owner of these properties, you are a strong, not like me, you're a strong individual where you are a sounding board for people, but your really goal is to make sure that you're getting that money. CMAs are going to give you some tools.
What is CMA?
Cost market analysis are going to give you tools to figure out how much it's going to cost.
Market analysis.
And also you have to have tools, a network of vendors in order to make all of these things happen. So I hope this was useful.
Yes, therefore you need to know all of your market analysis, and also you need to have tools and network of people that it can help you to do this investment.
Okay.
And we thought that we're going to put a very short video, but it turns to 19 minutes. I hope we could educate ourselves and you as a person that you wanted to invest in the real estate. And I hope I'm looking forward for the next video to see you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.